The Honourable, the member for Terra Nova.
There you go. Good start. Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's definitely an honour for me to, and a privilege to rise in this Honourable House today to represent people of the District of Terra Nova. First, I wish to thank the residents of the district for putting their faith and their trust in me on November 30th, 2015. I also wish to acknowledge my opponents, Mr. Sandy Collins, Mr. Burt Blunden. Both individuals worked hard, and each of whom ran a great and respectful campaign. Madam Speaker, on March 19, 1989, I began my career as a public servant and spent more than 26 years working with children, families, municipal governments, health and education boards, and various community-based organizations, always with a focus to help as many people as possible, and with the idea that rural Newfoundland and Labrador is a remarkable place to live. However, I always knew there was something more, a calling, if you will. So on October the 8th, 2015, after having a great career serving the people of this province, I resigned as a public servant, and I decided to seek the nomination as a Liberal candidate for the new District of Terra Nova. Now, Madam Speaker, winning a nomination in a provincial election in less than 7 weeks is not an easy task to accomplish. It comes with great determination, a lot of hard work, a focused plan of action, and a large group of supporters who believe in you. I'm very thankful and proud of the election campaign we ran, and I wish to acknowledge each person who assisted in making the election a success. To my core campaign team, under the guidance of Ms. Phoebe White, I owe you all a debt of gratitude. Each of you worked tirelessly to knock on doors, return telephone calls, put up signs, help raise some funds, and most importantly, keep me focused. Together, we ran a very well-organized and highly executed plan. Member for Conception Bay South talked about, I guess the impetus for him wanting to win. Well, I can tell you the impetus for me was my wife, Heather. She certainly believes in me and believed in me at the time when I said I wanted to make my life come true, my dream come true. She also reminded me that if I lost, I was going north, going to work. She was staying here in Newfoundland and Labrador, so the encouragement that I needed was all from her. To my mom and my mother-in-law, I owe you both a debt of gratitude. It was said during the campaigns we were knocking on doors, if he has both his mom and his mother-in-law knocking on doors, he can't be too bad. Finally, I wish to acknowledge a young fellow who came my way. His name is Mr. Dustin Fitzpatrick. Dustin came and offered to help out in my campaign. He was a 24-year-old who has Newfoundland roots, but who soon became known to me as a very remarkable asset to my team. To Dustin, I am forever grateful. Madam Speaker, being the member for the House of Assembly and representing the great people of Terra Nova District is truly an honour. Many people have asked me why I decided to run for political office. I have always worked hard for others and for the community. I am passionate about rural Newfoundland and Labrador and about this province. Whenever I travel outside the province, I am proud to say I live in Newfoundland and Labrador, an island in the North Atlantic that is rich in culture and heritage and is as unique as its people. Madam Speaker, I believe we have a bright future ahead of us, and it will take some collective action to turn the challenges we face today into opportunities for tomorrow. In thinking back to 1992, after working for 3 years with the former Department of Social Services here in St. John's, I accepted the position as a child management specialist with the Department of Human Resources and Employment in Bonavista. I recall that as part of my orientation process, I was asked to meet with the former coordinator at the Seniors Resource Center here in the city. During that meeting, I was asked what I was going to do while working in rural Newfoundland and Labrador. Well, Madam Speaker, I can tell you my response was succinct. I was going to make a difference. In response, this person said, "You don't know how many people before you who have sat in that chair and who have said those very same words." Well, Madam Speaker, as I reflect on my accomplishments thus far in my life, I feel I have made a difference in the lives of the people whom I have encountered, the children and their families, as well as the numerous community groups and organizations that are a huge part of rural Newfoundland and Labrador. My experience, Madam Speaker, in community economic development is extensive. I have volunteered for many community organizations, ranging from being a school board trustee to helping youth find a second chance in life when they became involved with the law, to assisting children and their families who live each day with a diagnosis of autism. I have been involved in family resource centers, in community youth networks, and I definitely enjoy public policy. Each day I awaken and I ask myself, who will you help today? Madam Speaker, this is my personal motto. It is also why I decided to seek the nomination as a member of the House of Assembly for this great district. Madam Speaker, my district is vast and diverse. It is comprised of 36 distinct communities which range in population between 200 and 6,000 residents, but the average being less than 500. Furthermore, 11 of these communities have municipal councils, and the remaining have local service districts or are considered unincorporated areas. This is a major challenge for my district, Madam Speaker, when it comes to regional representation, regional service delivery, such as waste management, fire and emergency services, and taxation. The Terra Nova district has a deep history in forestry and in fishing. Communities such as my hometown of Port Blandford or nearby communities like Charlottetown and Terra Nova are found in the forest industry, and each has a close affiliation with the former Newfoundland Railway. Today, the economy of the Terra Nova district has changed with the onset of mega development projects at the Bull Arm fabrication site, like the Hibernia project, White Rose, and currently Hebron, as well as Long Harbour with the Valley Inco Nickel Processing Facility. The employment opportunities that have been created have been enormous. As well, the North Atlantic Refining Limited employs many of the residents in the district, especially communities that make up the Southwest Arm and Clareville areas. Within the district, there are 2 service centres, one in Clareville and one in Glovertown, and employs residents living in and outside the area. Clareville is home to many provincial and federal government services. Between Monday and Friday each week, the community comes alive with the hustle and bustle of residents traveling from communities like Arnold's Cove and Terranceville, Bonavista, Charlottetown, and all points in between to access services and amenities. Glovertown, similarly, is a regional hub to the communities in the Eastport Peninsula. Later this year, Glovertown will begin the development of a new town centre that will provide a focus of economic development and collaboration in the community. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the provision of regional services and opportunities in oil and gas, tourism and culture is a thriving industry throughout the district. When I think about the Southwest Arm area, I think about the remarkable scenery and the people who possess great musical talent. During the election, I had the fortune of traveling extensively and listening to many, many talented singers like Marion Party, Katie Kelly, and Darren Sevier. The district of Terra Nova is also home to many summer and winter tourist attractions, such as the White Hill Ski Resort, as well as Terra Nova and Brookside Golf Resorts. There are campgrounds and RV parks at Thorburn Lake, Sandringham, Milady Head, and Newman Sound. In fact, Mr. Speaker, tourists often remark about the tranquil nature of the area and how photographic the scenery is in many of our communities. As I travel the Eastport Peninsula, I am once again reminded of what attracts visitors to this province. The remarkable scenery associated with shelters, bays, and inlets is breathtaking. No wonder tourism is the main industry in this part of my district. Since being elected, I've taken a proactive approach to being the representative from Terra by meeting with municipal councils, actively reaching out to individual constituents, and learning about the challenges facing this district. All of this has helped to educate me about the district and its people. All of this information will also help me in advocating for the right investments required for the district to make it sustainable. I have also taken steps to build a stronger relationship with our 7 federal colleagues in Ottawa. Mr. Speaker, 8 days after being elected in November, I had the great opportunity of being invited by my friend and colleague, MP Judy Foote, to come to Ottawa and meet our Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I am encouraged by the possibilities that lie ahead for this province because of the great relationship we are building with Minister Foote and her federal counterparts. Mr. Speaker, Hurricane Igor hit the province on September 21st, 2010. Many rural parts of the Bonavista Peninsula, as well as Terra National Park, my home community of Port Blandford, and Random Island were devastated by the damage to homes, businesses, and road infrastructure. Today, 6 years later, we are still dealing with the impact of this terrible storm. I get calls from municipal leaders and business owners who recant the story of how Hurricane Igor impacted them and how the infrastructure is still in need of repair. Mr. Speaker, many communities in my district have been impacted by the boom and bust cycle of vigorous economic development. During the Hibernia construction days of the 90s, communities like Clarenville witnessed the influx of new residents to the area. New houses were constructed, leading to new subdivisions and the growth of new businesses requiring new employees. Clarenville and many surrounding communities were benefiting from the boom of oil and gas. The surge of economic prosperity would change the community forever. In 2012 came the development of the Hebron GBS platform at the Bull Arm fabrication site. The impacts this time, however, were noticeably different from previous projects. The pull of skilled and non-skilled labor had a negative impact on local small and medium-sized businesses. Many retail stores reported an inability to retain employees, and the basic salary and benefits were continuously rising. On the surface, this may be seen by some as a very positive thing, but for those who are on fixed incomes, like our seniors, our disabled, and our retirees, the impacts of high rents and housing prices had forced many to live in less than ideal accommodations and to take money for food and heat and light to pay rent. Small businesses, too, had to reduce their operational hours because there was not enough staff for a second shift, and many people who are on fixed incomes have decided to leave the community. These impacts, Mr. Speaker, have forced the focus on the need for recruiting and retaining new workers. Clarenville today is now a very diverse culture with new Canadians working in retail, fast food, and healthcare. These impacts have also created a need to focus on sustainable and affordable housing options for certain populations in the area. In 2009, the need for awareness and development of affordable housing was garnished through the support of community organizations like the Regional Action Committee on Affordable Housing. Moreover, in 2012, well-established provincial organizations like Habitat for Humanity also saw a need to provide affordable home ownership and set up a chapter in the community. The developments of such initiatives has helped ease the burden for finding affordable, stable housing in the area. It is well documented, Mr. Speaker, that we have an aging population in the province. My district is not exempt from this demographic challenge. The average age in smaller communities is increasing, and the population is declining. At one time, families were large with 8, 10, 12 children. Today, with the high cost of living and the demand and opportunities for two-person family incomes, there are fewer children. Fewer children and both parents working means the need for fewer schools, the increased burden on fewer volunteers, thus increasing the challenges to the vibrancy we once experienced all throughout rural Newfoundland and Labrador. But we can turn the tide on these challenges, Mr. Speaker. We need to find ways to encourage greater community participation and greater volunteerism. Mr. Speaker, winter tourism and recreation sports are on the rise in my district. White Hills Ski Resort in Clarenville and the newly renamed Corwin Mills Nordic Centre are real gems to the area, ones which have not realized their full potential. We need to work with the community and the district to identify new opportunities that will make this facility a year-round venue. In a similar fashion, recreation activities in the winter and summer help boost the local economy. Recreational hockey games, snowmobiling are also huge focus for many outdoor enthusiasts in the entire district. During the summer, the Terra district becomes a destination of choice for many visitors from the Avalon Peninsula, other parts of the province, and throughout the Maritimes. Many people come to the area for boating, golfing, and other outdoor activities. Just last week, I had a conversation with an ATV tour operator from New Brunswick who had already booked 10 tours for this province, utilizing the Trans-Canada Trail Network. Mr. Speaker, as a member-elect for the District of Terra Nova, I make one commitment to the people in my constituency. I promise to work hard on your behalf. In doing so, I will make every effort to understand the issues presented to me and to advocate for a positive resolution. I have always given 120% to everything that I have done and will continue to work just as hard in my new role. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this overarching commitment, I also feel that the District of Terra Nova can benefit from a shared vision that focuses on building future prosperity and sustainability. It is a vision that requires commitment to action and extensive collaboration by individuals, organizations, and all communities. This vision will include a new model for a delivery of regional services, investing in aging infrastructure like roads and bridges and safe drinking water, changing our personal health status and how we each live our lives, improving access to healthy, affordable foods, and encouraging the development of more vibrant, active communities. Mr. Speaker, during the next 4 years, I look forward to working with my caucus colleagues and all members in the House of Assembly as we build a stronger tomorrow for the people of the Terra Nova District and the province. I know we have many challenges ahead of us, but I am confident we can find a path forward, a path that will require new ideas, new commitments from everyone. It is a future that looks different from the past, but a future that builds on a strategic focus on the things that we are good at, and a future that makes us less reliant on oil and gas. It is a future that is focused on creating a diverse economy and strengthens the relationship between urban and rural. It is a future we can all be proud of. Thank you very much.